Okay, we're going to take a quick look at this. All right, this is a question about the current 4.0 vignettes, and this is kind of an interesting one. This one comes up a lot, and so there's a couple things to say about this. So real quick, NCARB response on having trouble getting the lines to land where she wanted them to land on the PPP vignette. Quote, everything snaps to an invisible grid. Behind the scenes, you would appreciate why this is so. This was the response from NCARB. And then the sort of response to that is like, well, what does that mean? It's like, how do I get it to go where I want it to go? So there's a couple things to say about this. One of them is that there is a little bit of slippage that's allowed in the vignette. So if you are trying really hard to get one thing to line up with another thing, and you just can't get it to happen, even if you zoom in and you just can't, for whatever, it's snapping to the wrong thing or something, you just can't get it to line up. Presumably that means that you're actually closer in than is necessary, and it's not expecting you to be that exact. Of course, it could also be that your computer is messed up, right, at the testing center, or some other thing, right? But the way that they would answer it is there's a little bit of slippage, and they are not expecting you to be exact right on the money all the time. It's an awkward program. They know that. They've set it up in that way. Not that it makes it harder, but they've set it up where there's a range of acceptable sort of reasonableness. Obviously, if you're in one of the vignettes where things are tighter and closer in, and smaller in scale, like the stair vignette or something like that, that the snapping range is going to be closer, tighter. Whereas if you're in the site planning, you have a little bit more room in terms of the sort of how many inches you can be off. So in general, if you're really battling the program, my suggestion is just don't battle it. Get as close as you can and move on. Because that probably is beyond what they are expecting. And it's actually kind of an interesting moment to talk about some of the stuff that's coming. This is also going to be true with the new drawing versions that are going to be coming in place of the vignettes. The vignettes are going to be totally gone. In their place will be things like okay, here's a wall section, and over to the right is some flashing, and you have to put the flashing into the wall section. So you're going to physically move the flashing into the wall section, right? And you're going to get it pretty close, but obviously everybody's going to put it in slightly different locations, and it should understand that. It should understand that there's a little bit of wiggle room. NCARB actually used the word wiggle room when they were talking to us about it. Now, each different situation will be slightly different amounts of wiggle, and of course, for reasons that you can imagine, they won't tell us what the wiggle amount is. The idea is that the point is they're not trying to trip you up with the program. They're trying to see if you understand the answer. Now, that's easy to say. Doesn't mean it always feels that way when you're in the middle of it, and we get that, but the best we can say about it is if you're fighting that hard to get it exactly right, you're probably tighter in than you need to be.
And there's actually a point to probably make there, which is, I mean, after talking to the folks at NCARB, like, they get this, and they're trying to be reasonable about this. So you're not going to fail an exam because, you know, you're off by 1/4 of an inch or something, or you're off by a little bit. Like, they're looking for like a really obvious
or on like
failure.
a site plan, you're off by 6 inches or something like that.
I mean,
you know, that's a small number compared to a site plan.
Yeah. So I mean, I think, as you say, it's probably not a massive concern, and something you should spend a lot of time focusing on, I suppose. And
we totally get that that's really easy for us to say because, you know, there you are like, well, when is it a massive concern? Because they give you, you know, well, you know, you didn't pass this, you know, so it's hard to know exactly, but the general rule is if you've zoomed in and you think you know where you're meant to put it and you get reasonably close, that's probably close enough.
All right, well, maybe we'll close it up there. And we'll go ahead and thank everybody for tuning in. This was a really great collection of questions that you guys sent. So
really good questions, really interesting across the board questions.
And I know we weren't able to answer everyone's question here, of course, in about an hour and 20 minutes. But again, I really appreciate everybody sharing them. And I also want to thank Mike for taking some time to tackle these questions. If you guys want to attend our next ARE live broadcast, which is going to be focused on the programming, planning, and practice exam, we're going to put together a small mock exam and share it with you guys. You can visit blackspectacles.com/podcast to register to attend. And just like today's episode, you'll have the chance to ask questions and share your answers during the session for live feedback. In fact, we'll ask all of you to share your solutions to that mock exam, and then we'll discuss them during the session. And then also to learn more about our AIA ARE Prep curriculum, you can go to blackspectacles.com where you can check out any of the free videos. And for those of you who are ready to start preparing for the ARE, and if you're already an AIA member, you can use coupon code 42716QN, and that's N as in Nancy, ATW, to get a 15% discount for the entire duration of your AIA ARE Prep membership. And finally, please leave a comment below the video to let us know what you think. Share any suggestions you may have. I promise we'll read every word that you write and use them to tune our next episodes. So thanks for watching.